folks. Just getting started today. Late start. This time of year I don't always get going quite, as early as I do the rest of the year, and we have shorter days, so places you go when the water starts turning really cold, truly cold, the end of November, you want to make your hours count, and that's what the progression of finding different places where they congregate in winter can really pay off. They're not totally locked down by any means. They're actually pretty fired up, but it's usually later in the day that you get that flurry of activity. So it's noon, and I'm heading to a spot that I identified. I actually know this spot from years past. Trying to find places that I can winter fish with my kids from the bank, and this area has a good example of that. But it's a good general area for a lot of quality fish, especially in winter. So I'm gonna go there. The river's still low and clear. We are getting some rain tomorrow. It's gonna bring the river up some. I'll go again later in the week to this place and maybe a couple others. But yeah, this is the time of year where you can really dial in on not just your winter pools. You should already know a few by now, but dial in the spot within those winter pools that they really congregate, and then come December, January, you find the spot within the spot. But today should be a good afternoon trip. Let's go catch them up. So I will tell you, I stood up and drifted through the meat of where they winter, at least one lane of it, and it's a nice ledge trench and deep water and still water in a lot of it, foam eddies, beautiful targets for this time of year. I will go back to it, but I didn't anchor up or use the motor and sit on it and soak a jig. I know I could catch them doing that. I will. But it's sunny, low, and clear, and I'm able to get a better look at some of the bottom features that, even if it's up 6 or 8 inches more, I wouldn't get the kind of looks I'm getting at this, at the bottom substrate in different areas. And what's important is that you get an eye full of that when it is low and clear, because in warming trends in the winter, they will pull up to some shallow areas adjacent to, right next to where they winter. So I'm somewhat scouting a little bit of that. Just looking. I mean, I think there's going to be some fish here and there. But the bigger thing is, I want to take this opportunity of low, clear water to get a good look at everything. I am throwing an underspin, which is a good bait to just slowly strain water this time of year. I'm going to need to throw the jerk bait here in a minute. It actually looks like deeper water over there that I don't remember from last time. Interesting. That's the first fish on that. First fish of the day in that deeper water. It's a good one. GoPro start recording. GoPro start recording. So had I not bypassed, first spot, I don't think I would have come across this. So. First fish of the day on that yummy underspin, and it's a nice looking area. A lot of shallow water in between where I was and this location, and I'm glad they're at least willing to chase chase a bait. I think I'm gonna anchor up. I think I'm gonna pick this area apart with a jig now that I've found a place by kind of using a search bait. This looks good. So I've worked this area with, I did a couple more casts with that underspin. The underspin's really just a cold water search bait, a lot like the jerk bait, but it's I think more finessey than the jerk bait. But I came back in, I did throw the jerk bait at it, then I threw the finesse jig on it, and I got someone's attention. I'm approaching it from the downstream. I'm getting all the way to the downstream side and kind of coming up behind him. I was off to the side, so in clear water, you're coming up behind him is pretty critical. And I think I may actually take the underspin off, because that's on my medium light. As clear as it is, I think I need that medium light for the jig. But yeah, moving from the bottom up in clear water is pretty important. I do want to dissect this place and figure out some things. I can already tell you where they're going to be on high water in this area if they hang out here a while. There's some big pieces of wood on this bank, steep bank behind me. They will for sure jump up on that. All right, I've worked the whole thing from the bottom to the top. I really only got that one fish, but I believe in higher water they'll be in here. If for no other reason, I look down there and I see wood. Oh, there's a little muskie. Can you see him? Look at that log. There he goes. He's zooming. I wish I had a polarized lens on this camera. A little baby muskie. That's cool. But yeah, there's a lot of wood, and if you look up this bank, there's a lot of wood that's accumulated there. And think of this river with another 4 feet of water. Couldn't they tuck right up in this stuff? The only deep spot that I found was actually where I got that one fish on the underspin. But I think in the right conditions, and I don't think low and clear here today are the right conditions, there will be fish in here. There's also turtles on the bottom. I've seen 2 in this area. Might sound funny, but turtles winter the same place that river smallmouth do. You see carp or turtles, they're there's a current block. They would not be in this vast area of shallow water in between here and the deep water up on the ledges, but they are. There was 2 right along that bank. So, gathering intel while it's low and clear. Who knows how to find fish all winter long? Bald eagles. Check it out. It's an immature. There's a couple of that's an adult. There's another one in there somewhere. There. 1, 2. I think I've seen 4 juveniles and then these 2 adults that kind of stand their ground. You ever catch a fish on a particular bait and you're happy you've caught them on that bait, then the second fish never comes? You keep fishing that bait. Why? Because you want to catch them on that bait. When I can catch fish on moving baits in cold water, I'm pretty happy. I know I could bang out a bunch of good fish under those foam trails with a bottom bouncer. Why am I not doing it? I want to catch them on the underspin. You know, I found one fish that was willing to chase. That doesn't mean they all want to, and I need to come off it. I'm having trouble doing that. That ever happened to you? It's happening to me right now. Okay, I gotta just cut it off. Cut it off. There are some days where that's the bait all day long, and it is when we have low, clear conditions. Today's not that day. So what I'm gonna do, so I have two different profiles to put at them. Time to put the TRD gobies on. Love this head. Love, love, love that owner 5318 hook. And you know, it's good to give them a craw and a mad tom. Maybe even mix in like a scented jerk shad. You know, I am going to settle in on one spot or one area where there's a lot of fish, and to have a succession of different baits to keep throwing at them. Different stuff. A whole smorgasbord of smallmouth morsels. So try one of these. Our next course will be tiny catfish. The next course will be lobster. Yeah. One lobster dinner coming up. Sometimes when you catch them and you look in the net, it actually does come up. The vomit response is one of the things they do. Sometimes you can look in there, look down in there and see the antenna, but yeah, not in his case. That's a good eating spot, I guess. There's actually a little bit of current on that ledge. So clearly this ledge is the active it's the active eat spot. It's where the fish in this pool go in winter, cold weather, to eat. I know they're there throughout the year as an eat spot, but you know, a couple fish in rapid succession right there. My question is, I'm trying to get you off, bud. Where do these fish go to just chill out? Because that's going to be much more of a place to focus on once it's winter. I mean, yeah, late in the day in winter we gotta go to that ledge, but that's not where they're going to be all winter. So usually the slower, deeper, but not always deep. Sometimes it's just current protected. I don't know. Got to work the whole pool and figure out, you know, look at different depths, look at different, current protection features. That second ledge certainly scooped out deep, but I know when I go out here, it's not super deep, but it is slower current, so maybe out in the middle. I don't know. Got to kind of work it all this time of year. It may actually be time to throw the jerkbait around some. That's that. You know, search bait was what I was trying to do earlier today with the underspin. And yes, I found a spot at the end of the pool that had at least one active fish. I think, you know, I got bit a second time, but it's been a very tentative bite. Let's see what we got here on the jerkbait. Oh, lots of big fish right there. Oh, that's interesting. I had 3 fish following this one that's hooked, and this one's pretty good. This is a nice sized fish. I'm gonna loosen the drag a little bit, and hopefully I get him in this net. But he had three bigs with him. 3. He might have been the smallest, and he ain't small. That's interesting. Okay. All right. That for sure is the value of a jerkbait, that, you know, you still get to cover ground, but you can give it the pauses that they want to see, so that I think it's all about letting it be their decision this time of year. You know, yeah, you can catch a couple slow roll on a spinnerbait. But giving them a shot. Yeah, I had lots of hooks on this fish. Giving them a chance to stare at it and say, "Are you real?" And I think the more it just hangs there in their face, the more they say, "Oh, I think it is real." So yeah, he was the smallest of the 4 that were coming in, and decent sized fish. Let's see you guys. All right, I'm gonna keep throwing the jerkbait. We do have a low pressure system coming in. It's starting to cloud up a little bit, and maybe that's gonna work in my favor. We'll see. I can feel the coldness of the moisture that's coming in. You just feel it in the air. It's cold. It's cold humidity. It's kind of a little bit miserable. All right, let's get back up on that little secondary. I mean, there's a lot of, like, if I stood up right here, there's a big area here where my kneecaps would not be wet. But we also haven't moved that far from that ledge. Interesting. It's a lot of connected water here, and I think that's one thing that is just very interesting about this area. Makes it a challenge for sure. They can move around to a lot of different places. I want to see if I get some of those other fish to bite. There were some true bigs in there. He was just on the ledge. Yep. Here we go. Fungus on him. I'm going to take a picture, send that to the river keeper so he can see this sort of thing. They do keep track of sores and the such. So, see that right here. Take a pic. Show it to Ted. I want to point something out. I don't know if you can see that, but that's why I like Elaztec. You see that little, just hanging on by a thread? This craw, this bat wings has caught, I don't know how many smallmouth over the last couple trips, but if that was a regular piece of soft plastic, I think I probably would have replaced it 8 times, but they just hold up. This one's getting ready to go, but it's, man, I've got my money's worth out of it. And I got another one ready to go right here when it goes. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about how you position, how you fish ledges and trenches in winter. Where I've been catching them is the obvious, in these foam eddies all the way across, right? The less obvious is if you move downstream and you see that disturbance? That's a little bit harder to pick out, is that ledge line down there. But if you roll over it in clear water like this, where you can clearly see the bottom, you're going to see it. What I want to tell you though is, we've caught fish scattered throughout this whole area, and the one that people miss the most, there's a lot of backed up water, deep water up here, right? When I came up here, and I didn't catch one there, but I fished this area, then I moved up here, but what most people miss is that little ledge above the ledge. This little disturbance here. And I did cast to it, I didn't catch anything. But let's look all the way across. The main obvious ledge, what's immediately upstream? What do you see? How can you position to fish that disturbance? Do you see it? It's subtle, but man, it's something that most people miss, and it's something that holds big fish that probably run laps in this whole big area up here, but they stop there in the ledge that's above the ledge. So definitely look for those, and really you can come up and fish in these eddies, hang back here, cast there, but then if you move up here, you can position and kind of nose up like I did here, although I dropped an anchor, but nose right up into it. Put your, the nose of your kayak there, and look upstream. What do you see? Try it. Most people miss it. The ledge above the ledge. Above the ledge, and that's a big one. Maybe he's not that big, but I'm just happy I made that work right after I said it would work. But yeah, ledge above the ledge. There. Some buddies. The only issue is when you get stuck on the ledge above the ledge. Yeah, there. Yep. There's the disturbance. Feels like a big fish because it just hasn't moved much. That was just sitting there. Jerkbait just, oh yeah. You're substantial. Good sized fish. He's also hooked in the head in a weird sort of spot. Interesting place where he found this jerkbait. kind of a current seam, like a really broad, sweeping current seam. All right. I feel like he felt bigger than he was. A nice fish, though. It's probably 16. He felt bigger than he was because he was hooked funny in the head. He didn't take this jerkbait all the way in, but it's a new place to find them. You know, there's a lot of fish in this area, but they are spread out, and I don't feel like I'm in these low conditions. I don't feel like I'm dialing them in, like, hey, this is the spot. I think I'll figure it out once it's cold and the river comes up a little bit more, and eventually I'll get this jerkbait out of the net, and then I'll be able to, I don't know. Like, these are unique conditions. These are semi-drought conditions going into winter. It's weird. It's not normal. We need rain. Yeah, we got that going with the jerkbait. I like the jerkbait in these conditions because I can launch it way out there and get some separation between me and the bait, which I think is important. If you winter fish, you should have a dry suit. Everyone asks, like, well, is there a way to cheap out on this? They don't really say it that way. That's what they mean. It's like, yeah, go. Your car doesn't have a seatbelt. Just go buy some twine. No, you need a dry suit. But invest in this. Oh, this is hot water. I don't do coffee or tea, just hot water to hold it. You gotta stay hydrated, and might as well do it with something hot. Oh, it just feels good. Good. So I got a lot of deep water above the ledge that looks promising to me. There's still current rolling through here. There is, one bank that has this depth with no current. And I know that when real true winter sets in, they're going to be over there. But they can go anywhere, and they've been so spread out today. Like, yeah, I've caught a bunch on that ledge, but I caught them down below, and I caught them over there, and I caught one here. I haven't caught any over here yet, but they're still spread out, and it's because it's low. It's low and it's clear, and it makes the bite very spotty. For end of November, we should be catching more in concentrated areas. That's about to happen. We have rain coming in. It's gonna bump it up. I don't know how much it's gonna bump it up, but it's gonna rise, and I'll come back out here Wednesday and then Friday, and then I don't know when the next time I'll fish after that is, but higher flow is it concentrates them, especially in winter. And this low, super clear low flow has been a challenge. So this is another way to work the ledge above the ledge. I'm actually starting way above here with the jerkbait and sticking it way out there, but the jerkbait is going to sweep all the way down to the top of that ledge, and I'm letting it kind of pendulum swing. I am anchored off of my stern. That's why I'm kind of swinging around this way. But eventually it's gonna come and hit that ledge above the ledge. The pendulum swing is nice because you can have semi-taut line where you can feel a bite if it happens, but it's not so much that you're constantly moving it. I will twitch it occasionally, but it started up there, it's swinging here, it's actually down there now. So the other thing I will do is open the bail, swing my rod tip up, and then that felt funny, and just lower it down with my rod tip. If I don't think I'm quite to that ledge yet, I will let this swing downward. I think I'm gonna hit that ledge, above the ledge next. But yeah, this positions me, in the deep water, looking downstream on it in a way that you can't do the same presentation if you're below it, casting up. Keeps that bait fish, the jerk bait nose pointed up. I'll let down a little more line, lower it down a little further, make sure I get it to drift into the right spot. Oh, that was a good jump. He's jumped twice. He's big too. He's gonna do it again. And another time. He likes jumping. Okay. He's a big fish too. Alright. I'm letting him pull me around. Once you get tired there, buddy, I do not want you coming off. That is a big fish. Yeah. Oh, stay on there. Stay on there. Please stay hooked. Please stay hooked. Ooh, you are big. Okay, we're gonna run him somewhere. Oh no, I'm gonna pull him up right now because good golly, he's big. Oh yeah. We're gonna run him away from his friends. Oh yeah, cool. Woo. He jumped 3 times and then wallowed a 4th, but chewy, fat. That's a nice fish. And I was nervous. Ow, I'm being poked. Yeah, I'm bleeding. Man, that's a good fish. Very cool. Figuring some things out, maybe. As many times as this fish jumped, I am fortunate to have landed it on treble hooks. Oh yes. All right, I'm gonna let him breathe. A lot of that has to do with the fact that it's a moderate action rod, and you can get moderate action rods that are fiberglass and you would not have felt that fish bite. So this one's the Revelation Rain Shadow. Kevin Hollash actually made this for me with the Batson Enterprises Rain Shadow blank, but it is moderate, 1/4 to 5/8. Yeah, moderate action that is not, doesn't have fiberglass in it. It's all graphite. This is why. There's a lot of reasons why, but man, suspending jerkbait fishing in cold weather is a big reason why. So, all right, let's get this guy to shore, get some pictures. Yeah, I might get a weight. I mean, he's already sort of right there on the boga. I mean, he's into 4 for sure. Well into 4. Yeah, he's yeah, maybe not well into 4. He's about 4 pound 2 ounce. I think I've not been catching bigs today, and this was the first shot, first significant fish. Get this wet for you, bud. He is 19 and a half. I don't think so. I think he's for sure 19 and a quarter. He's close to 19 and a half, but he's as a tournament fish, he'd be 19.25. Yes. All right, gonna get some pics and let him go. So, one of the hardest things to do with a jerkbait after you catch a good fish is to match the level of let it sit that you use to catch that big fish. It's hard to do because you're amped up. Everything about you mentally, physiologically is speeding up. Both of those jerkbait fish I caught letting it sit. Now I am picking up slack as I put it into this eddy. I'm trying not to move it. I'm not in the same spot, but I'm near it. Just recognize that, especially in winter. You have a tendency after catching a big fish to start fishing faster, and then the bites don't come because you haven't matched what you did in order to catch that fish, which is to leave it alone. Not always, usually. There, I had to jerk it, and I don't know. Like, I feel like that was a long pause because I was consciously like, no, don't move it, don't move it. How long do you let it sit? I don't know. That was one screwing with it. I felt that. Anyway, pop. And it's sort of been that way where they mess with it. The first one I got, he was hooked like up here, but there is one in that eddy that messed with it. I think they come up and they just peck at it. But I think that 19 and a quarter just ate it. He just came out there wet. Alright, I had one hit the jerkbait in there. I think it's time just to give him a follow-up bait, throw the jig in there. He was about halfway back. Follow-up baits that are totally different than what they messed with, or frequently, just the key to unlocking missed bites. Give him a different look. Yep, that worked. Could commit to the jerk bite, but man, that craw with the special color bucktail, no one refuses that. Oh, that's a big one. Good jump. Run you over. Oh, wow, that ran the wrong way. Yeah, you've got some heft. You're a big fish. Are you bigger than that 19 I just got? I think you might be. Man, it'd be awesome if you stayed hooked. Yeah. All right. Yeah, this is good. So, isolated boulder out in the middle. I just got 2 off of there in rapid succession. I think that, yeah, I had you hooked pretty good, man. I think that this low pressure system coming in, maybe that combined with just the daylight getting low is probably real helpful. Man, it's in there really good. You know, the owner 5318 hook is for sure a special hook. I mean, I've been feeling the bites, golly, but there's a point in time in the winter where you're just not going to feel them, and you know, that sticky little hook is gonna catch fish that you don't deserve to catch. Golly. Gosh, that was tough. All right, we'll get a quick measure, get him back in, and get a line wet again. Things are happening here late in the day. Yeah. All right. Yeah, 18 1/4. Beautiful. Eddie, I know you have friends. Pulling you right in. Alright, I unfortunately crashed that nice isolated boulder eddy on that last one, and but I got a good look at it. I did mark it. I've actually started marking features like that may be harder to find in high water. On I thought about doing it on a depth finder on a chart, but I decided just to do it on my phone on Google Maps, because it's just easier. It's less equipment. It's not having to worry about did I charge a battery, or did the battery die because it was cold. It's here, as long as I got my cell phone. We'll see if that's useful. But I'm running out of daylight, and but they aren't eating, so it's messed with it. It's hard to just pull away, although I am going to be running across in the dark here in a minute. It's okay. I think I know the way. It's a little tough though when it's low. You grind. Let's catch a few more here. May drop back down to the main ledge and see if some fish pulled up there to munch. Come on. One more good bite. It isn't greedy, is it? That was a leaf. More leaves. There's my last one. Is it really gonna be my last? Let's get a fight and not throw it back in there though. GoPro, start recording. Oh, you're a nice one. Yeah, you're a nice fish. You gonna stay button? You gotta come see me? Come on, come here. I got a nice comfortable net for you. Oh, yeah. Nice, comfortable. They do eat close to dusk, a little bit past it in the winter. Yeah, you're good. You're really good. Oh. Get in there. Get. Oh. Yeah, that was a good last cast. Yeah, even though it was the cast after the last cast. Ooh. Alright, I did come back up to that one ledge or rock where I got the 19 and oh my gosh, he's bigger. The 19 and a quarter, this one's 19 and a half. Glad I came back. Good day. Am I really gonna stop even though it's dark out here? I don't know, I probably should. 19 and a half after the sun went down. All right, see you guy.